So you want to improve instantly at Apex Legends? Well, I'm here to tell you how to do exactly that. Fair warning, this video is for people who actually want to improve at Apex Legends. Some of you may not like everything you're going to hear in this video.
I don't get nervous, but I'm starting to get a bit shaky, you know what I mean? I'm a little bit weak.
With that being said, let's get on to point number 1. Now, I think we can all agree that we've all had that one Wraith teammate with the 21 4K master badges who runs off on their own and dies in a 1v3. And I bet that makes you pretty mad at the Wraith, and sometimes they definitely deserve it. But today I'm here to tell you the hard truth that sometimes you are the one being too slow. Whoa, before you come at me, let me explain. Time and speed are two of the most important factors in the whole of Apex Legends if you want to win. Acting fast on damage dealt or getting to a third party in time is super important, and the amount of time in between that you have to make that call is often very short. A lot of new or lower ranked players in Apex Legends simply spend too much time doing the things that don't matter, like looting every single building or death box, not paying attention to the in-game audio of gunshots going off around them, and playing at the back during gunfights. While these are all definitely issues, the one I'm going to focus on is players looting for too long. Hard truth number 2 is that you do not need the best possible loot to win in Apex Legends.
But Ashton, how do I know if I have good enough loot to win?
In general, the way I decide if I'm done looting or not is to look at my inventory and ask myself, am I ready to take a fight here? And usually the answer will be yes, because you don't need the best attachments, the most amount of ammo, 15 shield batteries and 10 medkits in order to win one fight. All you ever need in Apex Legends is enough loot to win one fight so that you can loot the next death boxes and get more loot back. The best way to get more loot is always to fight other people and to take their loot from them. So yes, little Timmy, it does kind of annoy me to see you running through every single building scrambling for your 5th shield battery. You don't need it. I promise you don't need it. Fighting people in Apex Legends will always be the #1 way of improving overall over time, so spending less time looting per game and more time fighting is going to speed up that process so much. And if you really think about it, if you're winning fights with less loot, then it's only going to become way easier for you when you do have more loot. And now we have time for one of Simply Ashton's top cool predator groovy tips. If looting fast and keeping up with your team is something that you're really struggling with, then I highly suggest trying Loba. Not only does Loba have a great movement ability to help her keep up with her teammates and mobile loot stations so that you can take anything from anywhere really fast, but she also has that massive juicy dump truck. Let me ask you a quick question. Who is more likely to improve at Apex Legends? A player who lands safe every game, loots for 15 minutes, and fights 3 people every match? Or a player who lands in amongst 6 or 7 other teams and fights for their life right from the very get-go? Now, this answer may upset some players, but the answer is, of course, the player who lands in amongst 6 or 7 other teams. There are a number of reasons why this is the case, and the main reason is the fact that this player learns how to multitask in Apex a lot faster than the player who doesn't take as many fights. An issue I see in lower ranked or newer players in Apex is they get very easily overwhelmed by things that they should be easily able to deal with. This feeling of being overwhelmed can also lead to these players being scared to even fight in the game. My advice when it comes to combat in Apex Legends and killing more players is always to take as many fights as you can. Throwing caution to the wind and taking risks is what is going to build your character and build your ability in this game. This means actively pushing fights and seeking out big fights rather than just holding back and waiting for them to come to you. Because believe it or not, the more fights you take, the better at fighting you become. So now we are back for one of Simply Ashton's top cool groovy predator tips. Knockdown shields are very useful. Even if you've given up on life, your teammates can use them to block bullets from enemies and potentially live in situations like this.
Hold up!
If this young man had simply given me his knockdown shield, I may have potentially won this fight, but we'll never know, because he didn't give me his knockdown shield. Another reason you might be struggling in Apex Legends is if your PC is running Apex at a slow frame rate and your game barely runs. You might think people don't play like this, but I know people with well over 10,000 kills on their main character who can barely run the game at 60 FPS on PC. And if you are looking for an upgrade in hardware, then you can always check out Apex Gaming PCs, where we've designed a line of simply Ashton gaming PCs built specifically for running Apex Legends. Each of the builds are fully customizable and able to be paid for over monthly installments, and you can save up to $250 on your purchase with the discount code Ashton at checkout. Make sure to click the link in the description or pinned comment for more information, and thanks to Apex Gaming PCs for sponsoring today's video. Immediately, I'm going to hit you with hard truth number 3. You will never get where you want to be in Apex Legends if you're a toxic player. I'm talking about the type of player who will lose over and over in Apex, yet refuse to admit that they made the mistake. Type of player who says it's your fault for going down, despite the fact that you've dealt more damage in one fight than they've dealt in the past 3 games. The type of player who unironically plays crypto in pubs. Alright, maybe that was a little bit harsh to you crypto mains. My point is, these players will never be reflective enough on their own actions in fights to learn from their mistakes. And I think if we're being honest, we've all been that one toxic guy before. Even if your teammates do make a mistake, it's always important to be reflective of your own actions in game and to be thinking about what you could have been doing differently, rather than always pointing the finger at other things or other people. That being said, you should never be too hard on yourself, because Apex is a very, very hard game with an incredibly high skill gap. You are gonna die sometimes. You're gonna die a lot of times. So it's important just to remember that when it happens, note down the things you could have done differently and move on, instead of lingering on it and beating yourself up for it.
I'm in danger!
This might not sound like amazing advice at first, but trust me, mentality is one of the key aspects to being a good Apex Legends player, and is something that even I can work on. In this game, when you achieve something, say it be a 20 bomb, 4K badge, or even that rank that you've been going for 3 seasons now, it never satisfies you. Instead, what happens is that your best performance becomes the baseline for all performances after that. This can lead to some players holding themselves to incredibly high standards, which is not able to be kept up all the time. So please listen to me when I say that it's okay sometimes to have a bad few games. You're not a bad player. That's just Apex Legends for you. Now it's time for one of Simply Ashton's cool, groovy... Yeah, we get it. We get it, dude. It's time for a tip. Becoming good at Apex Legends is not something you can fast track. It's not something you can simply flick a switch and everything will be better. This will be a long process. Like any skill in life, you'll need to practice over and over again before you get anywhere. And there's going to be a lot of games where you do badly and you feel like you're not going to get anywhere, but you need to persevere. Applying the advice, tips, and strategies I've given in this video is going to help you along the way a little bit in terms of pointing you in the right direction to the type of ways that good players play, but in terms of actual mechanical skill, this is something that will come after hours of gameplay. So keep going, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and please play more Loba. Obviously for the loot, not for anything else.